Bar Stool Sports. Titus, Brandon Walker, Mostly Sports.
Hey, hello, hi. It is. What'd you laugh already for? Why are you doing that?
You're a funny guy, Brandon.
I just said hello.
Hello.
Hello, hi. It's Mostly Sports on a
Bonjour.
Monday, June 23rd. We are live in Chicago, and we're talking sports. Listen, Connor, this one has a script.
Really?
Yeah. We should have printed you out a script.
Here, I can pull it up for him.
Yeah, pull up the script for him. I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read my part of the script, and you're gonna read Mark Titus's part of the script.
Okay.
Now, Mark Titus not here because of last week his comments about Stephen A. Smith. ESPN reached out to us. Mark Titus has been suspended indefinitely from Mostly Sports, so I'm sad to report that. But you ready with your part of the script?
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Hey, Mark. What do you do when you're out with friends and the waiter comes up and asks what everyone wants to drink, but everyone freezes, and they just look at each other for approval?
I'm Mark Titus. What should I do?
Why'd you read it like that?
It says Mark.
Yeah, I'm Mark. I'm trying to get in like my Mark zone. Go ahead.
Was that your Mark Titus impression?
Yeah, like so nonchalantly cool.
That you didn't pull
You're
it off.
No, you're being very chalant.
You didn't pull it off at all.
all right, I'll stop.
All right. You should have some confidence, man, or as Jägermeister calls it, shotfidence. If everyone's having trouble ordering, here's what you do. Be a baller. Be a shot caller. Order for the table a round of ice-cold Jägermeister shots. Damn, that's cold because apparently we've been drinking Jägermeister wrong.
I'm Mark Titus. How should we be drinking it, Brandon?
That actually says other host, so that could have been.
Yeah, he could have been the other.
Ebo.
He could have been.
Ebo, you want to step
I'm
in?
Ebo. How should we be drinking?
The podcast listeners are going to have no idea that was me.
We should be drinking it ice cold, 0 degrees Fahrenheit. So wherever you're at, if you're hanging with friends at the bar, or maybe you're doing all the sports stuff or just the mostly sports stuff, call the shots. Cheers with ice cold Jägermeister. Remember to check Jägermeister out at barstoolxjagermeister.com. Drink responsibly. Jägermeister liqueur, 35% alcohol by volume, imported by Mass Jägermeister U.S. White Plains, New York. Connor, Ebo, TJ, what do you want to talk about?
Mark Titus dropped the bomb in the studio and then just left.
He did.
He dropped two grenades in the studio.
He did.
And just fled.
Two. Not just one. Two. And that's not even counting the Doris Burke take I got coming.
Mm-hmm.
I got a bomb coming that you can't even imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Did you tweet that out last night?
I tweeted out that I have a Doris Burke take.
Oh, okay.
I didn't tweet out my Doris Burke take.
All right.
So
So
two totally different things.
still festering.
No, you gotta be a family member to get the Doris Burke take. I'm thinking about selling Mostly Sports Gold, and where you subscribe, and then one day I will drop the Doris Burke take on you.
We should just do like a special on a Wednesday.
Do we have some mostly? We could sell Mostly Gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, get it ready. The Doris Burke take is coming, but I'll just say this. Last night was the most unsatisfying conclusion to a hyped up. It was the most unsatisfying conclusion compared to how hyped up I was about it. We did not get the resolution to the NBA season we deserved. That's not to say Oklahoma City is a bad champion. It's not to say Oklahoma City wouldn't have won the championship anyway. It's not to say Oklahoma City wasn't the best team all year, because Oklahoma City now has the NBA championship and they are a deserving champion. However, we didn't get to see it play out the way it should have played out. And this is becoming an unfortunate theme in the NBA, in sports. This entire playoff might have turned when Jason Tatum popped his Achilles a couple of months ago. And now the NBA Finals Game 7. On a night where Tyrese Halliburton looked like he was going to have it for the first time. Like, the first 6 games, he was just kind of there. He was dealing with calf strain. And last night he comes out, he hits 3 threes in the first, 7 minutes or so. And then tries to make a move, pop. Next year and a half pretty much over for him. And the Pacers fight as they might in the first half. Once the Thunder were able to get to the locker room and gather their thoughts and figure things out, the game was over. It was unsatisfying as hell.
He still had the most threes of anybody in the game, though, even though it was only for
Well, it
8
was
minutes.
it was a wretched basketball game. It was
bad.
it was terrible basketball. Like today, everybody's absolutely celebrating Shea, and we'll talk about Shea. Shea's got a lot to celebrate as far as long term stuff. But Shea had 29 points and 12 assists. He was 8 for 27 shooting.
Yeah.
Without his endless parade to the free throw line, he's going to score like 18 points on 27 shots. Like, he was terribly inefficient, but he was far and away the best player. No, I can't. Other than T.J. McConnell, who even he had 7 turnovers. Other than T.J. McConnell, and then Shea with the 29 points and 12 assists, who played well in that game? Who played well for the Thunder? Who played well for I guess Caruso defensively played well, but offensively, nobody comes away from that game and you think, oh, wow, he really tried to make a difference. Siakam didn't even try to – once Halliburton went down, somebody had to grab the reins for the Pacers. Nobody did.
Mathurin's 24 was like the least impactful 24 maybe ever.
Yeah, Mathurin's 24 is probably the answer here. But it wasn't when Mathurin scored, I wasn't like, wow, he's trying to take over this game.
Yeah.
Wow, he's going to pull this team out of the ditch. Wow, he's going to head this off at the pass. The only one that appeared to be trying to do that was T.J. McConnell.
Yeah. Mathurin, towards the end, once it was already way too late, was still trying to keep the fight alive. And there was some promising stuff you were seeing from him, especially now as the Pacers move on in like a Tyrese Halliburton-less world.
Yeah.
Like Mathurin hopefully takes the next step. But you could say for the Thunder, Chet, it kills me to say it because I hate the way he plays the game. He did have a solid game, but you're right, was not trying to like take the game over by any means. He finished 6 of 8. Was a great defender, great rim protector last night, but yeah, no, it was just ugly all around.
So what has happened to this world?
I don't know.
What has happened? When did the Achilles become this? When we're losing 2 stars of playoffs to the Achilles, and it's happening in gigantic moments. It started, Durant a few years ago, then Dame Lillard, and now this year Tatum, and these are not, although I guess Halliburton was hurt. But Tatum and Halliburton are in the prime of their lives. These are not guys like 35 years old like Durant was.
I believe that there was a stat last night. There's a guy that tracks the individual injuries for every team who said it's the most Achilles tear in a season ever. 8 people. 8 players in the NBA tore their Achilles.
And this is not, the ACL has come a long way. You tear your ACL, whatever, they've got some ways to, and the recovery is quicker than it ever was. The Achilles is a year tops. I mean, a year easy, right?
Yeah.
It's a year. And then you start worrying about maybe coming back after that.
Also, the ACL, I feel like, is more of a football injury than a basketball injury. Like, basketball injuries, I don't know how – I'm not a doctor, obviously, by looking at me. But, the Achilles uprise is interesting. Like, someone pointed out that there's players running more than ever, so it could be like a fatigue thing.
Well, is the calf strain – is the calf strain the new – like the warning light?
Yes.
It's the new warning, like your tank is on empty, you need to stop and fill up, or you're going to pop your Achilles. Because I don't know if Tatum was, but I know Durant was dealing with a calf strain. And then last night, of course, Halliburton was dealing with a calf strain for 2 games. He got through game 6, and then bam, there it goes.
Luka dealt with a calf strain for a while, and they were actually pretty cautious about him, and he still wound up getting a long-term. Like last night, and it's such a tough debate. I love how Kendrick Perkins was like, hey, you can't fault Tyrese Halliburton for playing. But Kendrick Perkins did say once Tyrese Halliburton got the calf strain, he said on ESPN, it was like, don't play, sit out. Like, it's not worth it because you're probably going to be at a high risk of getting an Achilles tear.
But that was his main point during halftime. He was like, you can't fault him for wanting to play on the big stage. Did anybody fault him?
No.
Was there anybody in the world faulting him? Was anybody saying, well, yeah, what an idiot?
But he was coming at it from the approach of, I'm Kendrick Perkins. I saw what happened with Kevin Durant a couple years ago, and I said then he shouldn't have played.
But there's no option in an athlete's mind to miss Game 7.
Exactly.
That's not a thing.
Especially if you can like physically run up and down the court.
Right.
You're like, oh, I'm just dealing with this like little nagging thing in my leg. I'll be fine.
Nobody's missing Game 7 with a calf strain if they're a star player. They're just not going to do it. And for him to say, wow, really questionable decision, fuck him. Like, that's just a crazy thing to think about. You play your entire life to get there. In fact, when Halliburton got hurt and he goes down immediately, you see I guess we know the quiver now. We know the little shock that goes through him. And then he lays down and he immediately starts punching. He's not punching because oh, I'm mad I'm hurt. I'm mad I'm hurt now.
Yeah.
In Game 7, in the finals. Everything that we got here for, everything that took to get here, my whole basketball career led to this moment, and this happens now. Like, if this happens in a preseason game, it sucks, but it doesn't suck like this.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but we talked about how it's not a satisfying end to the NBA playoffs, which were filled with awesome moments.
Yeah.
I think the moment that the satisfaction of the game was ripped from me was that, like, literally, like, 7 minutes into the game, where you were like, I can't even enjoy this at all. It's just like the guy that clearly showed up and had what it took for the bright lights in the biggest moment, and gave, like, the NBA all the biggest moments throughout the playoffs, just, like, basically, like, his career ended on the court.
Well, the heart and soul of the
everybody.
team too.
Yes.
And they fought the rest of the first half, but again, they just didn't have the horses. They didn't have the firepower to keep going. They didn't have the guy to step up and make the shots. They had so many careless turnovers in the second half, which I'm not saying they didn't have careless turnovers when he was in the game, but I feel like in the second half of Game 7, he's going to be able to be somebody that stops it, and they just didn't have it.
No, that's a moment where you need the guy that's comfortable handling the ball. It's like, obviously TJ McConnell is like a point guard, but he's not your point guard. You know, he's like not the guy. And you saw it in the moments where he was taking over the game. Like, all right, we're going to throw everything at you.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're going to double team trap you as soon as you cross half court, immediate turnover. So it's like moments like that flip the game on its head. When it was like 69-64, all of a sudden it's like, all right, we're going to go aggressive at this guard. Tyrese Halliburton probably better equipped to handle that than a guy like TJ McConnell, even though TJ McConnell was, again, awesome for a solid 3-4 minute stretch where it felt like he was taking over the game.
It was just an ending that, and it was a foregone once he went down. It was a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
Again, they fought the rest of the first half, but the Thunder had that early run. I thought there was 2 possessions right to start the second half that pretty much told the story of the game. The Thunder got the ball first. They came down. Shea takes a 3, absolutely like falls down despite no one being anywhere near him. The Thunder get the rebound. They put it back up, and they score. It's like a 45-second possession or something like that. And then the Pacers get the ball. They're now down 3, down 4, whatever. They cross half court and turn it over immediately, leading to another long possession with another offensive rebound for the Thunder. And the game's over at that point. The Thunder are now getting 2 shots to every 1 for the Pacers. The Thunder are getting easy turnovers, easy baskets off turnovers. It's just over. And they ended up taking the lead out to like 21 by the end of the third quarter.
There were 8 turnovers by the Pacers in the third quarter, 0 for the Thunder.
And that'll do it.
Yeah.
That'll do it every time. Yes.
One thing about the Halliburton injury, because I'm curious.
You're against it?
As a Knicks fan?
Yeah.
Oh,
As
yeah.
a 76ers fan,
What's
your thoughts?
I felt terrible for Tyrese Halliburton.
That's good.
I hate the people who are saying, like, oh, this Thunder run has an asterisk next to it. But at the same time, don't you think that this will be the prevailing question from this finals? Like, the Thunder were an all-time team. They were the best team in the league. They were better for the vast majority of this series. They deserved to win last night.
Let me stop you there.
But that will be what people think about for the next – like, oh, what if Tyrese Halliburton didn't get hurt in Game 7?
As an all-time – okay. There's not an asterisk here. They won the series in 7 games. If a guy gets hurt, a guy gets hurt. They were at home. They had all the advantages in the first place. The problem with this is 68 wins, the most point differential of all time. They have a player who now is on the list of MVP, Finals MVP, and scoring title winners. They have everything on paper that you look up in 25 years and you say, wow, remember that. Except you just won't. This is going to be the most forgettable title team probably of our lives. There's something between their accomplishments and watching them play that is missing. If you watch the 96 Bulls play, if you watch the Warriors, if you watch any of these great teams, you see it. You don't know how to describe it. You don't know how. You just know that you see it. You don't see it with this team. You see a team that knows how to bend the rules. You see a team that knows how to flop. You see a team that knows how to get to the free throw line. You see a team that knows how to do all the dirty things and the little things, and that's great and that's good, and it won them a championship. But you don't see the all-time great team that paper tells you ought to be seeing.
No. I tweeted it last night. Like, it was just not memorable, and it's not to take away from the fact that they were the best team in the league.
They won 7 games, and 5 of them weren't close.
Yeah, they were more than worthy champions.
Yeah.
But there's just not much that you look back on from this run where you're like, oh yeah, they were iconic. That's a team that will be remembered.
The Pacers run was more memorable than the Thunder run, which is weird.
Correct.
Yeah.
And people pointed out to me, they were like, well, last year, like, Boston wasn't really that memorable, but it was because Boston didn't have a single series go longer than 5 games. They were dominating.
Yeah.
And this Thunder team theoretically could have had some real moments. They went to 2 Game 7s. Like, there were some real chances, and I don't know, just the way that they play, as you pointed out, the foul baiting, the just very chippy, physical, like it all worked. It all worked out for them great, but it did not cater to a television audience, to the fans outside of Oklahoma City in a way that maybe the league might hope.
I was going to say, do you think there's a part of this in play where they're so youthful that the storyline doesn't really build of like reaching the mountaintop for people? Like people see a team that just kind of like showed up and got it, and there's not this like arc of like Giannis Antetokounmpo just like having to work his way up through his career and then ultimately reaching the mountaintop that is an NBA title. And same thing with Jokic getting the MVPs and reaching the mountaintop, winning a title. And so like SGA kind of just did the same thing. Long career, a bit expedited though in terms of this rebuild. And I think maybe people look at that and they're like, the storyline is not there for this team, and maybe they're not endearing in that way because they're so youthful.
You know, it's not only that. It's not only not having the long grind and everything, but it's also it seems like a lot of contenders just got out of their way. It seems like, you know, with the Tatum injury, with the Halliburton injury, like it seems like a lot of contenders just kind of moved to the side and kind of just because I don't know. Michael Jordan had to go through the Pistons, right? Larry Bird and Magic Johnson had each other. The Thunder didn't have to go through the Lakers. The Lakers got old. The Thunder did have to go through the Nuggets, but the Nuggets had some injuries. Like there's a lot going on here that they didn't have to do the other all-time. Now, I want to talk about Shea particularly because Shea put himself on an all-time list yesterday. An all-timer.
It's a single one of the most accomplished single seasons by a player maybe ever.
And nobody likes watching him play. But all these other guys, you love watching play. Now, he is very good. I'm going to tell you the list. So, this is the list of MVP, finals MVP, scoring title guys. Not in the same season. This is guys who have those 3 accomplishments in their life. It is, I think it's 9 deep. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was the youngest guy to do it. SGA, 26 years old, the second youngest guy to do it. He was 1 year ahead of LeBron James and Michael Jordan, who did it at 27. Shaquille O'Neal did it. Kevin Durant did it. Kobe Bryant did it. Steph Curry did it. Wilt did it. I think all of those guys are top 10 guys all time. That's where he is at 26 years old. He is on a trajectory to become a top 10 guy all time, which is ludicrous to think about, right? Because at no point coming into the year did you think this guy could be a top 50 player all time. And he just did a top 10 all time accomplishment. What do we make of that? What do we make of it?
We should be praising it. Like we should be singing his
But again,
praises.
our eyes don't see what paper sees. On paper, everything is great and he's an all-timer. Our eyes don't see that.
Ebo, I want to get your take on this because when he was traded to Oklahoma City back, when was that, 2019 from the Clippers, there were a lot of people I saw who said, like, the analytics love this guy.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be a guy who...
Well, ask Ebo on behalf of the nerds.
Yeah, that's what the analytics are going to love this guy. This is a guy who you could build around. This is a guy maybe who could be to this potential. Is it that he is a good analytics player, but that, again, just doesn't necessarily translate to the casual eye of a television viewer? Like, I don't grasp.
I don't understand because he does do something counter-cultural basketball where it's like he's getting to the mid-range and making tough contested shots, and those are good shots for him. But the reason like guys like him work, especially a guard, is two-way guards are so valuable. If you have a guy that can play both ways, it goes such a long way. It's far more important, I think, than his scoring. Because we've talked about it on the show. Mark talked about it. There's tons of guys out there. If you give them the usage, they can go give you 25. Jalen Green's a great example of this. A guy that can go out, score 25 for a team, but it doesn't really matter because he's not impacting winning the game. Yeah. And we see now the Rockets were like, yeah, we know this is like a hollow 25. Doesn't matter. Get him out of here. And guys like SGA, you bring him in, you're like, all right, we can give him the usage. He can get us to 25. But on the other end, he's a net positive, which is very rare to find.
February 21st, 2026. That will be Doris' birthday.
Okay. Why?
I will share my Doris Burke take on that day.
Say the date again.
February 29th, 2031.
20. Wait, wasn't it just 26?
February 23rd, 2032.
Okay.
I will share. That will be Doris' birthday. I will share my Doris' birthday because I got to say something right now. Connor, Ebo, Mark, you guys have complained about Stephen A. Smith and you've complained about the halftime shows and everything. During these finals, I haven't watched a halftime show. I haven't watched a pregame show. I haven't watched a postgame show. I show up, I watch the games, I check out. I don't care. They're not going to do anything for me. I watched the halftime show last night. If that is the quality of what ESPN has been feeding people, I can see why nobody gives a fuck about the NBA right now or gives a fuck about the ESPN coverage or anything. And I mostly follow Stephen Smith through clips and Twitter. I didn't realize it was. Did I say Stephen Smith? Stephen A. Smith.
Call him Stephen Smith. Call him Steve Smith.
Steve Smith. Your
wife.
I didn't realize it was that bad.
Yeah.
They get to halftime and he is just screaming incoherently. Somebody got to step up. Somebody got to step up. Somebody got to step up. That's not analysis. That's not. All right, Stephen A., somebody has to step up. How are they going to do it? And how in the offense are they going to do it? How are they going to get the ball around to where it needs to be? Who is going to step up and why is he going to step up? What's his matchup? Somebody got to step up. He's just yelling it over and over. And then they throw it to Kendrick Perkins. He's like, can't fault him for playing. No fucking shit. You can't fault him for playing in Game 7. How can this be the quality of what they're giving us?
Also, the opening of the halftime was just like a graphics package, like one highlight. It was like the tease, back to commercial, 5 minutes of commercial. Then they come back, and then it's just Stephen A. Smith being like,
somebody got to step up.
Yeah, yelling at the top of his lungs that like OKC is like, there's no dog showing up for OKC. They're down 1 in Game 7 of the final.
Right, yeah. They haven't had a chance to go to the locker room and get them. Like, what's happening in the locker room, Stephen A. Smith? What are they talking about? What are they deciding? What are they coming up with to now attack a team that doesn't have Tyrese Halliburton? Talk about that. Just incapable of doing it. He's simply capable of screaming, somebody got to step up.
Well, Bob Myers even said it. I don't know if it was in the halftime or in the pregame, but he even said, he was like, Stephen A., just because you yell doesn't make it right. They're just trying to talk over everybody.
Yeah.
It's just an awful product.
It's bad. And inside the NBA cannot get there fast enough. But they're gonna do what we all think they're gonna do, right?
They're gonna put Stephen A. in there.
Yeah.
ESPNify it.
Yeah. They're gonna put Stephen A. in there. And
there's just like nothing.
He doesn't say anything. He doesn't talk about the sport. He simply says, he takes one talking point and says it over and over and over. And when the next guy talks, he yells it over them. Like, tell me how they're going to step up, why they're going to step up, who's going to step up. Pick somebody to step up. Like, don't just say somebody got to be a dog. That's not basketball analysis.
I think what Turner does really well is they like marry the like jokingness
right.
of it all with
talking basketball.
Like, yeah, and it's like Kenny Smith is like racing Shaq to the board, and like that's funny and a fun way to talk about basketball. But Kenny Smith's going out there.
But when he gets to the board,
he's showing you the sets, and he's like, "All right, this is why this set works. Is because they're getting this guy out to the wing, and it's a decoy for the guy cutting to the basket." And you're like, "Okay, well that's an interesting perspective. I didn't see that when I was watching the first half. That's a fun way to watch basketball. It's not yell for like 2 minutes and then come back, and then it's Doris Burke and Richard Jefferson, who I know you might have some opinions on. Basically, just like."
Well, let's
not getting along.
Jokes aside, let's talk about that. The Mike Breen, who's been doing this for a long time, is dragged down by Doris Burke and Richard Jefferson. There's no presence whatsoever on that broadcast team. There's no, I hate the word aura, but there's no aura. There's no feeling of this is a big event because these guys are on the call. It just feels like three people that were randomly drawn and sat down and said, hey, go do a game together. Mm-hmm. And none of them have apparently met before. There's no chemistry. There's nothing. There's nothing special about the broadcast team. They could be replaced with the three of us right now and nobody would notice. Nobody would care because there's nothing they bring to the table that says, oh, I got to have these three together. Yeah. And Doris Burke overtalks. She uses 50 words when 3 would do. Richard Jefferson, I believe, is just recording voiceovers for a video game because sometimes he'll just say a sentence that doesn't belong anywhere near what they're talking about.
No, that's a great point. It literally sounds like pre-scripted cut lines for
Correct.
NBA 2K, which is like not what you want. Like I want, like the color commentary is supposed to provide color and insight and make it look like
flesh out the scene for me here.
Instead, it's like just black and white, just like coloring with gray. It's just, there's nothing informative.
I know what my eyes are seeing. Tell me what my eyes should be seeing. Tell me what's the hidden game beneath the game. Tell me why they did this. And they're just ESPN has nobody capable of doing it, and I don't know what happened.
Or get a old coach who just likes to tell stories and talk about Savannah James.
Could do that.
I did see him pop up on my timeline yesterday. I don't know. It was some video. I can't remember what it was, but I was like, fuck, I miss Mark.
May I have this dance?
I miss Mark Jackson a lot. I like Richard Jefferson, just not in that role.
Yeah.
He's great in studio.
I like Doris Burke, but not in that role.
But like what Booger McFarland used to be for Monday Night Football. They realized, this really doesn't work. But I still like Booger McFarland. He's just not meant for that role in the course of a game being an analyst, and it's very similar to Richard Jefferson. He's not the best at it.
Is this like analytics fatigue? Is that what you think? Like why
overcorrecting
why
on it?
Why is there an issue with the worldwide leader not being able to put together a competent broadcast? Is it because they've said their takes 15 times already, and so they don't have anything left to say? What's the issue?
I don't think there's just any rhyme or reason to who they put together, and I think they just put them in there, and you can't mix and match. You have to. I don't know.
You need good storytellers, and you need good storytellers in the sense of you need a guy that's telling me the story of what's happening in the game that I don't see. You
need an X's and O's guy too.
But you also need a guy like that has history and is seen some shit in the league and is back in my day and when I was playing in Los Angeles and when I coached in Minnesota. This is we talked about this in the locker room and one time somebody punched a guy with a chair or hit a guy over the head with a chair. So just tell fucking weird. Tell a story, and there's no story being told on the broadcast.
What I'm hearing is put Vernon Maxwell on it.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. These motherfuckers, man.
Fuck me, man.
These motherfuckers out here.
I think going off of that, though, a large part of the issue is that ESPN saw a rise in player podcasts and players being outspoken, and they wanted to jump on the wave and get all these fresh, brand new retired athletes into the mix and get them on the networks and get them behind a microphone. But what they realized, or maybe they've yet to realize, is that not every athlete is meant to be behind a microphone. You have to really it takes time to get to the level where you could be broadcasting an NBA Finals game, and sometimes you can't just get a young right out of the league player and throw them into that situation. It's just not. It's not going to work out.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's kind of a reminder that play-by-play and color commentary is an impossible job because it's fairly thankless in terms of, especially when
not that many guys who can do it.
But it's the old guys that do it the best.
Yeah.
But if you're good at it, you have to be very polished and very sharp and witty to basically be a play-by-play guy or a color person, and it's so difficult, so difficult. And I think people take for granted when they just go and they shit on the Joe Bucks and Troy Aikman's where they're like, oh, Joe Buck hates my team. And you're like, well, he doesn't. He's actually very good at telling the story about what's happening in the game. And I think you're just looking for something to be upset about, which is maybe what we're doing right now. I mean, also, I think there is a genuine argument with this broadcast crew, not actually having any charisma or
charisma. There's no charisma. They're making Mike Breen seem like he doesn't have charisma, and he's got it for days.
Correct.
This isn't new. I grew up in the 90s when they in Michael's heyday, they had Magic Johnson doing the color commentary. He was fucking terrible. Then they had Isaiah Thomas. He was fucking awful. And then you get into the grooves where you have somebody who's really good at it. And basketball is probably the hardest one at it because, anyway, whatever.
You ever try your hand at play-by-play?
I've
done
4 West Point High School football games, play-by-play. Yeah, and I was good. I was damn good. But that's just by yourself. That's just talking.
That's a lot of air to fill.
A lot of air to fill, but I would do it. I would talk about the barbecue down there at the Fish Shack, right on Old White Road.
Any ad reads?
I had ad reads, but I would just give out free ads. I'd just be like, man, you know what I wish I had right now? I wish I had a cheeseburger from Stafford's, something like that. So I would fill it up, and I would
that rules.
I would talk a bunch of crap. I had in a previous life, in another life, if my life turned out differently, I would definitely be that guy. I would just be the announcer for West Point High School for the next 20 years. But I'm not. I'm here with you, assheads.
Yeah.
You.
Having your ass in your head would be
Huh? TJ's got an ass on his head.
That'd be shitty.
In my head, on my ass.
The follow-up is fascinating. We'll get off the NBA in just a second, but the follow-up to me is fascinating. The Thunder are young, but how we've already seen some maneuvering in the West, like the Rockets went out and got KD. We can talk about that in a second. Yeah. But there will be maneuvering in the West. The Lakers will go out and get somebody in the East. I'm sure the Bucks will go out and try to get somebody for Giannis, or maybe they move Giannis, whatever. There's going to be a lot of movement. But in the East, the Cavs had a great season, had a disappointing playoffs, but they're coming back pretty much intact. Meanwhile, the Pacers are going to be without Halliburton next year, presumably. The Celtics are probably without Tatum and might be tearing it down a little bit anyway. But if I'm the Knicks, like the last 2 weeks for my future, pretty good.
They don't have a head coach.
That Magic trade is
the Magic trade.
The Magic trade is looking, I think, better and better by the day.
Desmond Bain.
I think everyone just sees like the number of draft picks and forget that NBA draft picks aren't real unless it's like the first one.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah,
but you say that
that's not. It's fake. I don't know.
You say that, but
it's like it's monopoly money. The picks are monopoly money. They're not real.
But Ebo, what just happened last night? The team that's been accumulating these picks forever, the team that's been accumulating pick after pick after pick, just won the NBA championship.
That's a fair point.
And that's how they built it. Was picking like 11 through 25.
But that was also a Paul George. So you knew what you were getting. You knew you were getting lottery picks.
Yeah. Did you say that you had a Sixers take?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Sam Presti.
For what?
For pulling off a very novel concept in the NBA and acquiring draft picks and trading away your best players and having some bad seasons along the way to get to a championship.
What would you call that?
I don't know. I'd call it something that Sam Hinkie thought of.
Plan?
And they forced Sam Hinkie out of the NBA.
Some progress? Maybe they made progress every year?
Well, I mean,
an itinerary?
Yeah, okay.
Is it the itinerary?
The Sixers were making a lot of progress under Sam Hinkie, and then the NBA despised him for it, and the owners casted him out. And they put the Colangelos into the Sixers front office, and then we had Brian Colangelo getting burner accounts and criticizing the players, and then it all went downhill from there.
I'd also like
to stop the process, but okay.
To give a shout out for Oklahoma City for picking the right MVP. You know, they picked an MVP who can go out and win a championship, who can put the team on his back and win it all. And when the playoffs gets there, doesn't fold, doesn't cry, doesn't whine, doesn't become a bum. So shout out to the Thunder for rolling with the right guy.
I have two things to say off of that. The second one will be a question. The first, a statement.
You can just say it.
And the third is what?
Watch out for the Philadelphia 76ers next year.
How? Why?
Just watch out for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Where should I be watching?
Yeah.
For what?
Like the bottom of the Eastern Conference?
Be explicit and very specific with where and what we were watching for.
Bailey.
No, I don't want to say fuck that guy just yet because he very well still might wind up on my team. He is pissing me the fuck off.
He might drop out of the top 7, by the way.
He might.
Bailey.
He's got apparently
he wants to
just some baggage. He's not working out for teams.
No, but then VJ Edgecombe, there were reports today he showed up to the Sixers facility like extremely nervous and did not have a good workout. So I don't know what's going on.
VJ Edgecombe is a funny name.
It is. But point still stands. The Sixers have the 3 pick.
Okay.
Maxey, Jared McCain,
long,
who would have been Rookie of the Year.
How long do you anticipate being on the Sixers? Because it's already 15 seconds too long.
They have a great asset in Quentin Grimes. And then, of course, Joel Embiid. Who knows what he's going to look like, but there's a lot of stuff clearing up.
Idea.
A lot of stuff clearing up in the East, and
I have a pretty good idea what he's going to look like.
This would be the very, very, very last year, and I'm talking myself into it. But anyway, in your opinion, Brandon, worse MVP, SGA or Joel Embiid?
Embiid.
For in what metrics?
In the metrics that they both went over Jokic. The year that Embiid went over Jokic walked into the playoffs and won the NBA championship and the Finals MVP. SGA at least got to go over him in the playoffs and proved, okay, he liked to at least grab the brass ring from the guy and prove that, hey, my MVP wasn't a fluke. We just beat you in 7 games. Whereas Embiid got to the playoffs his MVP year and they just crapped out immediately, right?
Second round, Game 7 against the Celtics.
Sure, certainly. I think both years it could have been argued that Nikola Jokic was the MVP. Shea at least had a chance, or at least used the playoffs to back up his claim to being the regular season MVP, and Embiid never does. Thoughts? While we're here, I think your eyebrows are settling in nicely. I think they're at about 80% of what they were. I think this is about where it ought to be. I think the eyebrows and beard matchup is pretty good.
Yeah, the Ryan Day juice lasts way longer than I thought it would. I thought this was only going to be...
Could you do me a favor and stop calling it the Ryan Day juice?
Uh-oh.
I just keep thinking of Ryan Day has come on your face.
Yeah, he has come on. Yeah.
Right. So unless Ryan Day did come on your face.
The Ryan Day spa and got a facial.
The Ryan Day product.
You got a Ryan Day facial. You got a facial from Ryan Day.
Yeah. The Just for Men lasts way longer than I thought it would, but I am going back to my professional once this has died, or once it's no longer died.
When do you think that would be? When's your next appointment?
I don't know, dude.
After break?
Yeah, probably going to be after. This is lasting a long time. Really, really long time. But I enjoy it.
Enjoy what?
I enjoy the process of going to...
Did you boys... We spent 6 weeks complaining about how summer wasn't here yet. Summer got here this weekend.
Like a Mack truck.
Like a fucking Mack truck. I went out to play golf, and I thought I was full of piss and vinegar. I'm like, I looked at the forecast, and it said 92, 93, 94. I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm from Mississippi. This is going to be a Wisconsin 92. And I got out there on Saturday, and Wisconsin 92 beat the fuck out of me.
Mm-hmm.
And it got up to like 97. They were wrong. The heat index was like one of
You look jacked in this picture.
Trap's looking good. I made it through 13 holes.
Did you jump in the lake?
No, I went and sat in the shower. And that's when I say sat in the shower, I mean sat in the shower.
Wait, so did you were obviously playing with some guys.
Yeah.
2 guys in a cart. Did you just sit in the cart and with a little neck fan or something? Or you're like, I got to take the cart and get back to the club?
So I played with Scott, Ethan, and Charlie.
Good friends. How are they?
Great guys.
Nice.
Shout out to them.
Well, Scott's a piece of shit. Anyway, we're playing, right? And first 3, they're good. They're good. They walk up, they hit it where they want to hit it. They hit it right down the middle of the fairway. They're good. They're going to par, birdie, or maybe bogey every single hole. I immediately just start chopping it up all over the course. First drive goes in the left fairway. Second shot goes in the left rough. Second shot right rough. Third shot left rough. Like I'm all over. I'm a windshield wiper across the fairway. Mm-hmm. And about like number 8, I start realizing it is very hot. Like it is a hot, and we don't have any shade on my golf course. It is a hot that I am not prepared to deal with. And I started thinking, okay, well, at the turn, do I start to plant the seeds of maybe I'm not going to make it? At 10, I was so. Which hole did I just sit out? Oh, we got to 12. It's a par 3 over water. I hit my tee shot into the water. And I said, let me hit another one. Hit it into the water. And I said, I'm sitting this hole out. When you're a grown man sitting a hole out with 3 other guys who get out of the cart and go putt, you're just a bitch.
Yeah.
You're just a complete and total bitch. So there I am just sitting there, and I'm planning my escape. Between 13 and 14, 13 comes back to the clubhouse and 14 goes away from it. So at the end of 13, I just said, man, just take me to the parking lot. Just you got to get rid of me. I went and I went to the locker room. I sat in the shower for about 30 minutes and got cool.
Do you think they respected your...
No.
Okay.
No. I don't think they
I was going to say,
anything.
your candidness.
No. You could tell about number 8. Not only am I getting hot and I'm getting to be a little bitch, but I'm also terrible at golf. There were some eye rolls. There were a couple, and then there was the condescending when I would hit a decent shot. I mean, halfway decent. Oh, look at Brandon! Look at that!
You're gonna love it.
Yeah.
Attaboys.
Yeah, and I'm just not. I'm still 30 yards beyond or 30 yards short of everybody else. I thought I could hit a ball far.
Being patronized like that.
Oh, it's
gotta be.
It's the worst. And I told him I didn't want to play because I'm not good. I just want to play by myself. I want to play with my kids. That's all I want to do. I want to go out there and play with my kids, play with myself. and that's all I'm good for is playing with myself. And they were like, no, play with us. Play with us. You're going to like it. You're going to love it. I didn't love it.
Brandon, I'd never be able to show face at that golf course again. Personally.
Ever?
Well, if I had to tap out with the look like that you had with the towel on your cold towel on your forehead, and you had a bad round, and the guys are patronizing you and everything. I was like, I don't know how I would come back from that. But if you come back from it, if you're not affected by it, and you still go to the country club, that's a credit to you, because I would not be able to handle that. Personally,
have you paid attention to the Brandon Walker 6 years at Barstool? I've come back from a lot worse.
I know, but that's with the company. This is in your personal life, where you're getting ridiculed on a golf course and just getting absolutely dominated by the sun.
Did you at least hop in the pool? You should got in the pool or something.
No, I just can't. I thought about it, but I said there's a bunch of women and kids at the pool. They can't see this.
I gotta see. I need a video of you going off the diving board.
I just can't. I just can't put this in front of everybody. Hair's looking blonde though. Hair's turned around. Hair's looking blonde for the summer, huh?
Yeah.
Connor, you should do the hydrogen peroxide or whatever it is.
The lemon juice?
Summer. Yeah,
sun in.
Yeah, do some sun in the summer.
Wait, what?
You should. I'm saying.
That's like a natural hair brightening.
So you can go strawberry blonde. Actual strawberry blonde.
Well, I was when the eyebrows were.
Your hair is
dark.
somehow getting darker, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, you don't have to apologize.
But I was getting hydrogen peroxide, and I was scraping the fuck out of my forehead so my eyebrows would get lighter.
Last thing on the NBA.
I got something too.
Last two things on the NBA. What's your thing?
I wanted to talk about like ESPN fetishizing trauma last night.
Oh, yeah.
If that makes sense. Like the Tyrese Halliburton injury replays, I think they showed the same replay of him smacking the floor after the worst moment of his career 30 times before halftime. Like it was like an unconscious number of times where they went back to the replay and back to every time they came back from commercial, they went back to it. And then after the game ends, there's a lot of joy going on the screen. Like, did anybody else notice that they were like only showing Pacers for 5 minutes? Like it was like a long time where it was like show TJ McConnell crying, cut to Tyrese Halliburton in the back on crutches, show like there was Siakam crying. Like there was so much, like ESPN was focusing on the negative more than I feel like I've seen in a major moment like this. I don't know what the direction was there.
They also followed TJ McConnell, crying TJ McConnell to the back.
To his mom?
We don't need to see that. Again, like he said, there's a team celebrating a championship on the floor. Let's maybe focus on them. No, this has been an epidemic for a while. It's crying fans, crying players, crying anything. You show a cameraman some tears, and they are staying on you. They are coming, and they are staying, and they are absolutely wringing it out. And I think focusing on the sadness of sports is very counterintuitive to what they're trying to do in the first place. So show us the good parts. Show us the happiness. Yeah, show some.
Yeah.
Show some. You want to show Tyrese Halliburton, you want to show a couple replays of that to really sink in, not only is he hurt, but the emotional toil that is taken on him. The absolute, that moment is powerful and strong. It's a lot more powerful and strong if you show it twice as opposed to showing it 38 times, including coming in and out of breaks. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Especially, I think it should have been done at halftime. You can talk about it in the second half. Reminder, Tyrese Halliburton went out. They would do in the second half, in the middle of the third quarter, they'd show it.
Well, it's going back to what Ebo was talking about earlier with telling the story of a game. That was the story of the game, Tyrese Halliburton with that injury. But there are ways of telling the story aside from we're just going to just shove this injury replay right down your throat the entire 3 hours of television.
Yeah.
You can come up with different ways of relaying that to the audience. Hey, by the way, there was this devastating injury. Because also, you do have to keep in mind there are other people who aren't watching the full game and they're tuning in the third quarter or whatever. Like, you have to keep them informed, but don't show the fucking replay
and it wasn't like
dozens of times.
There was no new information. Like, they were showing the same clip of him from the same angle smacking the floor and like screaming in pain. I was like, we get it. Like, we understand that he's out. Like, Malasek had a tweet go pretty viral also about just in general, like the vibe about this game being different than the vibe of the NHL game, which I think is more of like a Thunder nonchalantness thing. Like, there was no like locker room celebration. There was no, because they didn't know how to open champagne bottles. I don't know if you saw that clip.
Yes.
I don't know. It was just weird. It didn't feel like the moment I feel like it was supposed to.
No, all the air was sucked out as soon as that Halliburton injury happened.
The NBA in general confuses me. Both closeout games were pretty big blowouts. The Panthers acted like this was the first time they've won a hockey game in their lives. The Thunder make it seem like they have 4 more games played. Just a fascinating difference.
And it was both championship moments.
Yeah.
How the Thunder kind of just like dapped up, and
I do wonder though if there was I get his point. Is there kind of a respect being paid here by the Thunder to not celebrate in their face and to not go over and to kind of embrace them, being like, hey man, we get it. Your best guy went down. They're not just
dancing on their graves.
Right. They're treating it a little differently than they would if Tyrese Halliburton had been healthy.
That, but also we could just say it. The Thunder have zero personality whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like they don't have characters.
Well, have you not seen the Chet commercials?
What a pro wants.
By the
what
way,
a pro
Evo,
needs.
this is a good chance. Do you want to talk about the commercial?
Can I just ask? I'll ask and then I'll look at the chat. Are we sure he's saying the words bag and then the word it in that AI commercial? Like, are we? Because it has 100% hit rate of. I'm looking down at my phone during commercial he says it, and I look up at the TV because
Evo,
it's not what I'm hearing.
I was sitting on my couch yesterday. When did this happen in the third quarter or something? And I'm looking down at my phone just like you described, and I hear him say it. I hear him say bag.
I don't even want to say it back to back.
And he says it a lot quicker than that. And I looked. I went like, whoa, what? And I rewound it, and I realized what he said. And it's close. It's damn close. That's enough of that. Now, lastly on basketball, are we about 5 years too late on reacting to Kevin Durant trades the way we ought to? Kevin Durant is 36, 37, 38. Kevin Durant has had multiple tries at leading a team to the promised land, and outside of being on the loaded Golden State teams, can't do it. Kevin Durant doesn't really play complete whole seasons anymore. Kevin Durant is an all-time great player, an all-time great scorer, but he's never been the franchise changer that we would have thought him to be. And now he gets traded to the Rockets, and I'm seeing tweets about updated Rockets championship odds. I don't need to see those updated championship odds. That's not going to matter for the Rockets next year. I don't care if they got Kevin Durant. I just don't think getting Kevin Durant in 2025 is akin to getting Kevin Durant in 2015, and that's how we're covering it.
Is he in the history of sports, the most disposed all-time great player?
I think he's the most acquired, the most acquired
I guess
legend.
You're viewing, I guess, a little bit more glass half full. I'm more half empty, I guess, more pessimistic. But, like, has a player ever just been, like, shipped around and moved teams like this, that it's a truly, like, all-time great in their sport? I'm trying, like, it's a genuine question because top of mind.
I would say, certainly in this sport, you have to talk about LeBron, but he has shipped himself around.
Yes. But only three. I mean, Terrell Owens. I guess here we go. Chris Paul.
But Chris Paul's another one that I don't think is the all-time great.
Shaq, I don't know if that counts. He was kind of
Shaq was at the end before he started doing it.
Yeah.
And Kevin Durant's done it his whole career. It's a weird.
The only one I can think of in football is like T.O. was kind of just like, but that's because the bag of goods you got when you got Terrell Owens on your football team, and
there was always a shelf life.
Yes. But yeah, like I don't know if there's anyone who's had this amount of movement besides I guess Chris Paul. Yeah.
I just don't think.
And Chris Paul if he had just done like what Katie did and gone to an all-time great team, got a championship, we'd think about him so much different. Because 2015, 2016, Chris Paul, outside of Steph Curry, was the best player in the NBA. He was so good. Awesome in playoff mommoments. Yes, dude. He was so.
He wasn't better than LeBron James in 2015-16.
I'm not counting LeBron James.
Okay. All right. Okay. Because it kind of seemed like you were.
He doesn't count.
Okay.
But like Chris Paul was like at that level of like MVP level point guard, like leading unbelievable regular season teams, had unbelievable postseason performances. They just like never made the jump. And it sucks because he is truly one of the best players to ever play basketball. He's going to have the Charles Barkley type legacy, I believe.
All right. Yeah.
I was just going to point out one thing because I agree.
I've tried to move on from the NBA 15 times.
It's a big
and
trade.
It's 52 minutes into the show.
It's a big trade.
All right.
I agree with the whole Kevin Durant legacy thing and how he's been shipped around, and it really is odd. And we look at the Brooklyn Nets as a disaster, his stint there. I was thinking about it this week. How different is Kevin Durant's legacy, though, if his foot is not on the line in that Game 7 against the Bucks, the Nets win that series, and they topple who ultimately went on to be the NBA champions that year? Like, we might be viewing Kevin Durant in a very, very different light. And I think that moment in particular
but
set up a domino effect that it was crazy.
Maybe, but it was.
Yeah, I know.
It was on the line. So
that's a sports moment I'll never forget where I was for, which is weird.
Yeah. I was in Champs downtown at Penn State.
I was at the Red Lion with Nick Traney.
I'll be goddamn. Which one do you want?
Any interest in the hypothetical that the Kevin Durant trade news was?
Yeah, that was
We're not even
the Javits Center Fest was all.
Michael Rubin gave him a Houston jersey.
That was
right
so there was
everything that came out of that event was fake, contrived.
You
bullshit.
can call it what it was. That was the Fanatics Fest. It was a parade of staged event after staged event, like Livy Dunn buying Paul Skeen's card for a number that she clearly was coached on. It was a bunch of weird events, right?
Yeah, it was clip farming. They just sent them like
Joe Burrow not knowing how to throw a baseball.
And here they got us. They got us. They worked us, guys.
Yeah,
they got us.
This segment presented by Sport Clips. Sport Clips is dropping something huge this June, the Playmaker Sense. For a limited time, when you get the MVP haircut experience, aka the most relaxing haircut in the game, you can pick a brand new relaxing scent for your hot steam towel. Choose from a lineup of sports-inspired scents like early morning practice air, which smells like fresh grass, a cool breeze, and the start of a legendary season, Rawlings new leather glove with warm, rich notes of leather, and then wild card for those bold or hungry enough to try it, Stadium buttered popcorn, which smells insane. Can we make sure I get one of those hot towels with buttered popcorn, please? Fun fact, it's actually the staff favorite among the Sport Clips crew. These scents are only around for June, and then they're gone, so visit now and try them out. Sport Clips, it's a game changer. Offer ends 6/30/2025. That's June 30th, 2025. It seems like that's 1 week from right now. At participating locations only and where permitted by law. These scents are only around for June, then they're gone, so visit now and try them out. Sport Clips, it's a game changer. Do I have a game-changing moment there?
Yeah, what is
yes.
The game-changing moment presented by Sport Clips?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what we're doing? So I won't say, for sake of the advertisement, the actual game-changing moment last night. I'll simply say the game-changing moment was the Oklahoma City Thunder winning the NBA championship, because I do think it's a game-changing moment for the NBA going forward. Which direction do we go? Do the Celtics climb back on top? Do the Thunder put a stranglehold on this league? There's so much uncertainty in the East with the injury situation. There's so much uncertainty with the West. The Rockets are trying to get in the mix. The Suns are retooling. The Lakers, they got to move in their pocket. Giannis is going to be either moved or helped at some point in this offseason. And I truly think the Thunder winning last night is a game-changing moment that sets up 4 or 5 years of complete – I can't see which way this league is going. I think it's a complete question mark which direction the league goes, and this is the first time in a while I can say that, because when the Celtics won last year, we assumed they'd be right back here next year, and the Thunder are actually young enough to pull that off. So where do we go? I think the game has changed, and we just don't even know which direction it's going. That's presented by Sport Clips.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much. Other sports. So T-Bob is en route from Omaha. He had to go out there to take part in Ben Mintz's yearly vacation. Did y'all see his tweet?
Yeah.
Mintz?
Uh-huh.
I did. I saw your response to it, too.
Yeah. Has to be a top 3 life in America.
With
Charleston, Ole Miss Regional, widespread panic, Chicago, Omaha with World Series of Poker, Vegas looming in 5 days.
He's going to Vegas?
All-time summer.
He's
going to Vegas for the Barstool Classic.
Yes.
It just happens to also be at the same time of the World Series.
Which is exactly where he went last week, the Omaha.
What a
Barstool
serendipitous moment
it's
the universe
incredible.
has provided.
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah, it's incredible. Anyway, so T-Bob is en route from that. I guess we can save a little bit of the LSU talk for tomorrow. I have never had a sports argument that I thought so little of in the moment, and so many of the fans have just absolutely been living and dying by it. A couple of weeks ago, Tony Vitello, I said he's the best coach in college baseball. He said Jay Johnson. Jay Johnson just won his second national title in 4 years, which is a huge counterpunch in that argument. It's hard to argue against that. My stance was then, still is now. Tony Vitello just built Tennessee from the ground up, from nothing, and I think anybody can go to LSU and succeed at a high level because it's the best program in college baseball by a significant margin. But right now, Jay Johnson has won his second national title in 4 years, so it's hard to argue against him. I thought we were arguing 1A and 1B, 1 against 2, two very LSU fans act like I have absolutely called all of their mothers whores, and they have just been following me around. So they're waiting for the moment T-Bob can throw it back in my face. So hopefully we'll get that tomorrow when he does throw it back in my face. But LSU wins the College World Series. There was never, I regret not saying it, there was never a more sure bet. Once they got through Arkansas, they were going to just destroy Coastal Carolina. Because, A, everything you think the SEC is in football, it actually is in baseball. The elite SEC teams are just better than everybody else.
Yeah, you can go under 500 in the SEC and still be
the best team in the country. And Coastal
Ole Miss did that.
Coastal won 27 games in a row. They can't score. They can't function against LSU. Anyway, Coastal Carolina's coach got thrown out in the first inning of yesterday. Coastal lost 1-0 on Saturday night. All-time great performance by LSU's pitcher Cade
Anderson.
Cade Anderson, thank you very much. So Cade just threw a gem on Saturday night, 1-0. They get to the first inning of Game 2 on Sunday, which, by the way, College World Series and baseball should tell ESPN or somebody to go fuck themselves. There's no reason they're having a day game at 1 o'clock in Omaha, 100-degree weather. Give them Sunday night baseball. Let them have Sunday night baseball. I don't understand why they can't have that one Sunday night a year. They should all be at night. All the primetime games should be at night for the College World Series. So he comes out of the dugout. He's arguing something about balls and strikes or a pitch clock or something, and the umpire throws the Coastal Carolina coach out in the first inning and his first base coach, pretty much the entire coaching staff. So they're done in the first inning. Thoughts? Wait, no, excuse me. Ejecting Coastal Carolina's coach in the first inning because he dared come out of the dugout 3 steps to question something you did at the plate. Fair or foul?
I have to see where he was standing, obviously, because
he was a long way away from the ump when he got thrown out.
He said,
So
you missed 3 pitches.
Yeah.
You missed 3 pitches.
And he's barely out of the dugout,
and then
he's thrown out.
He already got tossed. And then
Look how far he has to walk after that.
Hilarious flop by this.
All-time flop right here. The second umpire.
The field ump that comes in.
Oh, God! And he gets up, and I think he walks over and does you're going to get 2 games? 2 games for bumping an umpire. And I think the NCAA even said he's going to get 2 games. They got to reverse that. He didn't touch that guy.
What a, incredible crock of shit that was. Championship game, biggest stage. Granted, it maybe got a lot of people to tune in because they saw the clips on Twitter, and they're like, oh, what the fuck's going on in Omaha? But that's insane. Insane levels of letting people not really even associate with your sport try to ruin it on the biggest stage.
Yeah.
Listen, we talk about bad officiating a lot, but college baseball would shock you. It would absolutely shock. You would come away wondering how these men are employed. It's bad.
I mean, we have major league umpires
that's true.
They are gainfully employed and
yeah,
we all know are terrible based off the umpire audits and whatnot, but
people know them for being terrible.
Yes.
That's why they know them.
The gap between them and a college umpire
it's massive. Absolutely.
Miles.
Massive. What was your thoughts on the College World Series, Connor?
Well, for starters, very, very foul. That instance right there, to answer your original question.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Foul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's all I got. Good for LSU.
Yeah. They won their 8th championship.
Yeah.
They're the best program.
I'd feel worse for Coastal if they didn't already have one, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because they were a great story. They won, 27 games in a row, got to that final series.
They were so overmatched.
We're in a war on Saturday, just 1-0, couldn't get anything across, and then
LSU won the World Series in that 9th inning against Arkansas.
Yeah.
The second they beat Arkansas, the World Series was over. And even if it had gone 3 games, they were just clearly far and away better than Coastal Carolina.
I believe Cade Anderson has the second best odds to go number 1 in the MLB draft, which is, I believe, in a week or 2. Current favorite is Ethan Holiday, brother of Jackson, which is insane.
Wait, when's the NBA draft?
Wednesday.
And the second round's Thursday.
Like the NBA draft is 2 days from now.
Yes.
The championship was. They get to work.
Yeah.
They get to fucking
the whole and we didn't bring this up with the Kevin Durant thing. The fact that blockbuster trade is announced on the day of the finals,
Yeah.
I hate that.
I don't mind that.
It took away from the gravitas of Game 7, and then we finished the season, and there was no time to breathe because we just go right into the draft, and it's like, what are we doing? I don't know.
The Thunder have 38 picks in the draft.
Yep.
They still have a bunch of picks coming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No, they do.
There was a chance, I believe, that they would have gotten the Sixers pick.
There was.
There was.
If we'd finished outside of the top 6, they would have.
Which is why they were explicitly tanking so hard at the All-Star break, because there was a chance the Thunder ended up with like 5 first-rounders.
Yeah. But the Sixers, of course, we're fighting for the rest of the league, and we are making sure that the rich don't get richer. We are essentially like, I don't know, the good guys that everybody should be rooting for.
Also covered up in this Kevin Durant trade, last thing on the NBA, I promise. The Suns are the most poorly run organization in basketball, and that includes the Hornets, the shitty teams, the Sixers.
Mm-hmm.
What Ishbia came in and thought he was playing NBA 2K franchise mode, and you can just sign all the good players, and when you go and play with the guys, like, oh, I'm going to make every no.
But they'll probably move off of Beal.
Yeah, but
buy him out.
Yeah, Beal's done though.
They traded a bunch of.
But you got to watch for them like fucking around and trading Devin Booker.
No. But I'm saying, I think now they're finally admitting, oh my God, we were so wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of trying to double down and keep trying to make it work, I think they're just
right. But I think they're about to shed themselves of all of it and just suck for 5 years. That's what it feels like to me. But hey,
that'd be a good process to take.
I could be wrong. I don't know that I've noticed it, but every Sunday, is it 11? Okay, every single Sunday, there's an elite golf tournament on.
Yeah.
Every single Sunday, there's just incredibly watchable golf. Like the PGA Tour is just is on fire right now. Yesterday, Tommy Fleetwood, which if you ask me, just ask me now, and I'm going to pretend it's me from Saturday morning. The Saturday morning, Ebo, ask me right now.
Brandon, you watching the golf today?
No, that wasn't the question.
Oh.
How many wins does Tommy Fleetwood have on the PGA Tour?
Brandon, you see Tommy Fleetwood's in first place?
Yeah, I saw that.
You wouldn't guess how many wins he has. I want you to go. Go ahead and guess how many wins he has in the.
Hurry up, because it's Saturday. I have a tee time at 9 a.m., so I gotta go. Do you think it's gonna be too hot?
No, you're good. Just get
okay. All right.
Golf will be waiting for
Tommy Fleetwood wins on the PGA Tour.
Yeah,
12. 12. I'm gonna say 12, 13. He's in contention every week. This motherfucker's on the front of the leaderboard every single week. He has never won a PGA Tour event. And then yesterday he gets there and he's winning the entire day.
Up a shot on 18.
He is winning the entire day. And he all he has to do, a par wins it, right? A par wins it?
Yeah, par wins it.
No, par wins it.
Par sends him to a playoff.
Par gets him to the playoff. Yeah. But Keegan Bradley stiffs it, and then he bogeys it, and you flip the 2-shot swing on the 72nd hole. Keegan Bradley wins, and Tommy Fleetwood loses. I'm just rooting for Tommy Fleetwood now.
There's so many events on the PGA Tour. How do you not have?
Everybody wins one too.
He's not a full-time card-carrying PGA Tour guy, right? He gets like a bunch of exemptions and stuff.
He's European, right?
He plays.
What are you laughing at?
Laughing at you guys. You guys are funny.
We're asking you.
Oh, he's got full. He's won on Euro Tour.
Right, but he plays more consistently.
We're asking you to fill in the blank, so don't laugh at our lack of knowledge.
Right, he plays a bunch of events, but he doesn't play full time in the PGA because he plays his DP World Tour.
Yeah, but then that's like saying everyone doesn't, because that's like saying. No.
I'm asking a question.
Right, you're scoffing
You're scoffing at me asking a question.
Because I'm confused by a question. I would say you're wrong.
Okay.
I don't think that's correct. He is a full-time PGA guy. Full-time PGA guys also play Euro, also play in Japan.
Okay. Well,
it goes both ways.
Why don't you settle down?
All 3 ways. Sorry. I am settled. I was taken aback when you said Tommy maybe 12 wins. Was kind of crazy.
But that was illustrating the point.
Fair. But
I don't even know what the other.
You might have to barge out of here today. I don't know that I like your attitude today.
He jokes every week for a reason. He's got no dog in him.
What is the non-golf equivalent, like, because he's so consistently like a top 25 player in the world,
yeah,
and he has 0, and like in baseball or basketball, like is there even an equivalent to
Oregon football?
I guess, but even they get like they'll win a Rose Bowl or like a regular season championship, like nothing, not one trophy to show for decades worth of not decades, but like basically a decade worth of
just being in the top five.
Yeah, an unbelievable player. 42 top tens without a win.
Jesus Christ, really?
Yeah.
I was rooting hard for him yesterday.
42.
It goes back to the same PGA thing I said last week, which wasn't PGA, but golf will just have you rooting for a different guy you didn't expect every week. Like last week, I didn't expect to wake up and root for J.J. Spawn as hard as I did. And yesterday, I wasn't expecting to root for Tommy Fleetwood because I bet Tommy Fleetwood has a pretty good life. I would just imagine things are going okay for Tommy Fleetwood. And I'm just rooting for him like he's just getting it out of the mud. Like this is the difference between him going back to a 9-to-5 job at Walmart or sticking on the PGA Tour. And he lost. Now, Keegan Bradley is the captain of the Ryder Cup. And now there's some kerfuffle that he shouldn't be the captain. He should play, or he should be a playing captain.
A playing captain.
How can you be a playing captain? Isn't the captainship a big job?
Yeah, but he's also just outperforming a bunch of guys that would be playing anyway. Like he's outperforming Patrick Cantlay and whoever. So like,
could you have him give up his captainship and play instead?
There's a movement to give it up for Tiger Woods and have Keegan play, but I think being captain holds more to Keegan than would playing.
In his life, it's more of an accomplishment to be the Ryder Cup captain than to play in the Ryder Cup?
Yeah, in my opinion, yeah. I think he'll play and captain.
I love the Ryder Cup. I love the...
May I say something that might be controversial?
USA. Is it about Doris Burke?
No, it's about the Ryder Cup.
Okay, go ahead.
Look up the dates, TJ, for the 2025 Ryder Cup, please. Have you looked it up, Connor?
Yes.
What is it?
I'll wait for TJ to pull it up. There we go.
The 45th edition of the Ryder Cup will be September 25th to 28th. Let me tell you something. I love some golf. I fucking love some golf. I'll watch Tommy Fleetwood choke away a tournament in June like nobody's business. I don't give a fuck about the Ryder Cup in September 25th to the 28th.
I may have to
retract. Thursday through Sunday.
I may have to retract my previous. I love the Ryder Cup.
I love the idea of the Ryder Cup. If you want to hold the Ryder Cup in August, I'm there. Let's go. Let's fucking roll. You're not kidding me.
I don't love it more than watching Syracuse play Illinois in a non-conference game. That's for sure.
No. If it's Virginia Tech, NC State on a Thursday night or the Ryder Cup, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm going to Blacksburg. My bad. Is this crazy?
No.
All right. Okay. Well, why?
Lubman, come out and be explicitly anti-Ryder Cup. You have to pick a side. You're shaking your head.
Week 5 of college.
I'm anti-Ryder Cup because it's unwatchable because of the time and place. Like Brandon said, if it's during the summer, I'm there, I'm watching. It was more accessible to watch when it was in Italia the other year.
LSU Ole Miss.
Yeah, Tennessee, Mississippi State, UMass, Missouri's that weekend.
Is that Penn State, Oregon?
I don't know.
Penn State, Oregon.
Nobody knows when Penn State, Oregon is.
Penn State,
Alabama,
Oregon.
Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these are things they need to consider when coming up with the Ryder Cup.
And then I think, well, is that going to be one of the Sundays the NFL also plays?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
You got to.
So that's a big issue.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in Scottsdale that weekend.
Why?
Really?
Bachelor party.
Oh, you dog.
Never been to one.
Never
been to a bachelor party.
Never been to a bachelor party.
I don't know if it's my poorness or my southernness.
Bachelor parties?
We didn't do the blowout bachelor parties that you guys seem to do up here. I hear of you guys, oh, yeah, we're going to be in Scottsdale for a bachelor party. We're going to be in Miami for a bachelor party. We're going to be in New York City for a bachelor party. My bachelor party, we went and played 18 holes of golf at Highland Park Country Club or Highland Plantation in Starkville. For my other boys, we went to Elm Lake Country Club, played 18 there, and then we went home and watched a UFC fight. That was the biggest bachelor parties we ever had back then.
And you know what, Brandon? That sounds like the ideal bachelor party.
They were great.
That sounds awesome.
They were fucking great.
No unnecessary travel.
I don't
no
understand.
unnecessary Airbnbs. I have to get to Gatlinburg, Tennessee this year.
The beauty about hanging with your fucking boys.
But I love Gatlinburg.
Is you can just do it. You don't have to go to Scottsdale.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to Gatlinburg. You don't have to go to Miami. I'm sure bachelor parties there are great, but you give me my 5 best boys and just a roof and a place to eat, we're gonna have the time of our fucking lives.
I think it's a different issue in the sense that like all of us here, I'm sure we have friends all across the country because
Yeah.
we move from different places. So if you're all in the same town and you're choosing to go to a place like, Scottsdale or Vegas or whatever, then that is a little bit interesting. But like I know if I were to throw a bachelor party tomorrow, I don't know where the fuck it would be.
I think the trick is you have to do a city that's easy to fly to, or if everyone lives close to you, just drive somewhere.
Yeah, hometown.
Ideal bachelor party has one round of golf, one nice dinner, and then a day to just chill at the house and booze.
I think that's basically the plan: is to play golf and then watch football on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Nice.
go eat and do the at-home hibachi, which seems to be a requirement.
The gap between fall bachelor party and fall wedding is crazy. Fall bachelor party could not be better, in my opinion. Like first couple weeks, like early September, you watch a couple of college football games all day. You just drink, maybe get a little hop in the pool. If it's still open, still warm enough.
Sure.
Play cornhole.
Yeah.
Yeah. God. Make out with your boys.
What's wrong with spring bachelor party?
There's no football on it.
Shut up, Blutman.
I'm asking a genuine question. This goes back to the 5 minutes ago when you did that to me. I'm
Shut up,
asking a genuine
Blutman.
question.
What a stupid question.
This is
I-
a
we're not-
genuine
we don't-
question. I've never been to one. I don't wish to be the one. I'm asking questions.
I don't wish to be the one.
Correct. I don't wish to have one.
Ebo,
That's me.
can I access your baseball nerd brain?
We can try.
After I tell you about Game Time, there's nothing like getting to a baseball game, especially last minute. Luckily for us, we always use Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Game Time makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the app actually go down the closer it gets to showtime. They even get exclusive zone deals. You can let them choose your seats within a given set of zones, and you get huge savings in return. You can put those savings back in your pocket and spend them at the ballpark on a hot dog, a new hat, or some good old-fashioned Cracker Jack. If you're in Chicago, you can get 10% off zone deals for the Cubs at home on Sunday, July 6th versus the Cardinals. Just look for zones 29 through 32 on the Game Time app. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code MOSTLY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, use code MOSTLY, MOSTLY, for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it? Game Time.
Breaking news.
Massive
Massive breaking news. I may be breaking it to Blutman right now.
No, not bringing it to me.
All right.
He's already tweeted about it, even though he was in the room with you.
Hearing Trevor Zegras will be traded to Philadelphia. And this, of course, let me tell you something. This is huge for the Flyers. Because they got a guy from Anaheim that is a fucking dude. Is this a big deal, Blevin?
Potentially a dude. This wouldn't fly in the Flyers Tortorella establishment. Tortorella died behind the bench seeing Mishkov and Zegras do Michigans. I think that this is a big deal because Philly is a team looking for any sort of high-end talent. Zegras has that. Zegras has fallen short big time ever since he got on the cover of NHL. Been a major flop since then. Consistency's been an issue. I'm looking forward to seeing the return, and I'm happy. The NHL takes no days off. No days off. This could be something.
When are my Blackhawks going to make a move?
They're sniffing around.
Sniffing around free agents or trades?
Brand.
Yeah.
This could be a busy time full of trades these next few days.
All right.
JJ Paterka, if the Sabres
Buffalo.
if the Sabres want to move off him and the Blackhawks swoop in there, that would be lovely. That would be excellent. That's a guy to pursue for sure. There's gonna be there's talks about Columbus being a big time player.
What?
Columbus?
Is this your first day of wearing a hat, school? What happened?
Yeah, I'm hyped up. Stove's hot. It's hot outside. I wore the hat today.
Long sleeves today is crazy.
What?
Long sleeves was a crazy choice today.
Well, long sleeves helps me not get sunburned,
Yeah.
DJ.
DJ.
It's a move that only Brandon and
LTJ.
I understand because we're so pale and frail. But the Columbus Blue Jackets want to be big-time,
I'm not
prime-time players. Yes, you are.
I'm not. Hold on. Time out. Time out. Time the fuck
I
out.
would actually say you look quite tan today.
I am quite tan. I'm not pale.
Well,
I'm
because
not even close to. Get over here.
formerly pale.
I'm not even close to as pale as you.
Couple of pale guys.
No.
Oh my God, that's not close.
Connor's pale. I'm not pale.
We don't have to throw me into it.
Well, I mean, if
I liked being left out of that.
But Connor, if we're looking around at pale guys in the room, I might be the most tan guy in here.
That's just because you went to play golf.
Evo got some color this week.
Pre-golf.
Yeah. Me and Connor went to the beach on Saturday, and Connor did the tweet.
Oh, no invite.
I did the tweet.
Oh, what was that, TJ?
No.
No, huh?
If I got lost in the middle.
I also got bullied into running a 10K with Blake because he's so fucking cool. I just want to be like him. He's like, you want to run 6.2 miles Saturday morning? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And I ran 3, and I was like, yeah, you go ahead. I pulled a Brandon. Like, you go ahead.
Yeah.
I can't make this. I looked so fucking lame in front of him. So lame.
Saturday was weird because the wind was blowing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
When you walked outside, you're like, oh, nice breeze. And then you realize it's just a hairdryer. It was just like a hot wind.
Yeah.
And when it would die down, you realize how fucking hot you were. It was bad this week. I've lived in Mississippi my whole life. This was a Mississippi summer day here in southeast Wisconsin.
Southeast Wisconsin.
You all right? Are you ready for your baseball nerd take?
Yeah, let's get it.
Is Cal Raleigh the greatest hitting catcher in the history of baseball? Because this dude,
Yeah.
he's got 31 homers. He tore up Chicago this weekend. Now, did I shake his hand on Thursday when he was here? And did he say, I love your college football takes? And did we spend the next 10 minutes talking about Florida State football? Yes. Then he goes out and hits a home run every single day. Thoughts?
So you think that
My power is surging.
you
through
willed
him.
Cal Raleigh, and also he was on your fantasy baseball team last year, correct?
He was on my Dingers Only team,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like you. It's definitely not the ice cream machine. It's definitely you.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I would think, oh, people are claiming the ice cream machine.
Yeah. Some people are claiming it was the ice cream machine that made him good. Which
I'm sorry. A lot of people have had ice cream. How many people have hit 31 homers?
It's a good.
I think this year, just
Yeah.
Cal Raleigh.
Just Cal Raleigh.
He's on pace for 67 homers.
He's on pace for like 67 home runs the next 3 weeks. He hits one every day. I got him last year. I got him. I got him in Dingers Only, like in the 8th round. I don't think I'll have the same luck this time around.
Who has the second most for catchers?
It's Logan O'Hoppe.
Yeah, who has 16? 17.
That's a guy.
It certainly is an athlete. He's out for like the next month.
Is he out for a month?
He tore his oblique, and then the next day we had I don't know if you saw this. We had our backup like defensive catcher, like the AAA guy that everybody has. He's like gonna bat a 050 and just play defense, whatever. He came up, or he's been playing sparingly this year, but Jazz Chisholm hit him like Darren Sharper hit, or was it Brian Dawkins hit Reggie Bush? It was that bad. So we have no catchers.
Was it Brian Dawkins?
Was it Brian
It
Dawkins?
was Lito Shepherd.
Lito Shepherd.
I don't even. Was it Reggie Bush either?
It was definitely Reggie Bush.
Okay, yeah.
Definitely Reggie Bush, you fucking idiot.
Trying to think back to that. Yeah, no, it was.
Yeah, it was Reggie Bush. But was it Brian Dawkins or Lito Shepherd?
It was not Brian Dawkins. It was
Lito Shepherd.
Yeah.
I think, Ebo, can I tell you the truth?
What?
I think there was a time in my life I also thought it was Brian Dawkins, and I once got corrected to Lito Shepherd.
If I just find who was it?
No.
Who was it? Was
Sheldon
it Lito
Brown.
Shepherd?
Sheldon Brown.
No, it wasn't Sheldon
That's
Brown.
not a real person. You made him up.
It wasn't Sheldon Brown.
No.
You made that name up.
That's not the same hit then.
This is Bernstein Bears effect.
You don't know what you're talking about.
This is some Mandela shit. Who's Sheldon Brown?
Cal Raleigh.
No, it was Sheldon Brown. That's on me.
Cal Raleigh has 31 homers. The next two catchers, 17 and 16, I've never heard of either one of them.
Okay, so Logan O'Hoppe.
Yeah.
Who is the next?
Hunter Goodman.
Oh, yeah.
That's just not a real guy.
He's on the Colorado Rockies.
Is he really?
I believe,
I mean,
yes.
goddamn. Who does Logan O'Hoppe play for?
He plays for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, Brandon.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, good for them.
He would be an Angel not in the outfield.
Question: is a catcher an infielder?
No, because you're not in the field of play.
Okay, good.
And the rules require you have to have 8 guys in the field of play.
That's your catchers right there. Now, I know most of them. I didn't know Logan O'Hoppe or Hunter Goodman. I knew Austin Wells. Augustin Ramirez, don't have a clue. Shea Langoliers, yes. Salvador Perez, yes. Carson Kelly, kinda. Sean Murphy, yes. Has he been hurt? Because he should have more than 9 home runs. I'm looking for guys I can draft in Dingers.
Well, they've been playing.
By the way, the Dingers only draft us today. I don't know if y'all can tell.
Pull up the first baseman.
Salvador Perez, 49 years old.
He's-
Guy
50
will be playing baseball in 2093.
Yeah, I cannot believe he's still
Still be a Royal.
producer.
The first baseman,
Whatever.
they don't have that many home runs.
This is something I've wondered, and it's obviously a dumb analytic part of my brain. Like it's bad analysis what I'm doing right now. But what happened to the power hitting first base?
I don't know.
It used to be like the only people that hit fucking 30, 40
They were
homers
all-
were first baseman and corner outfielder.
Every first baseman in 2001 was 6'5".
Hit 300 and had 40 homers.
Correct. Yes. Yes. And he hit 3 or 4 in the lineup, and that was it. Now first basemen are all over the place. Pete Alonso's a power hitting first baseman.
Mm-hmm.
But like second place
Vlad.
is Spencer Torkelson. I don't know. Vladdy has 9 home runs. Bryce Harper, by the way, has he been hurt?
He's been out for the past.
How long is he
Couple weeks.
How long is he going to be out?
I don't know.
Not sure.
When's he coming back?
Not sure. But the Phillies are playing.
I don't care about the fucking Phillies. When
And if you're the Phillies, you might have to step in and help Bryce Harper save him from himself. He's drinking a lot of raw milk.
Is that why he got Blutman eyes?
Yeah, there was a bad picture of him.
He got bad Liam
This
eyes.
picture. Well, what?
Oh, he does look old.
He looks
Toothless a good thing.
90. Oh, yeah, toothless.
Shout out Toothless.
Why does he look so 90?
What?
I think he looks great.
No, you don't. That's not even good. You're enabling him.
That's my fucking guy.
If you're actually his friend, like you claim to be, you would have a difficult conversation.
I don't claim to be his friend. I would love to be his friend. Don't get me wrong. But
He looks like a cigarette.
Whoa.
Like in America or
Yeah.
huh? All right.
hold on. It says that he wanted to come back within the next 10 days or something like that. But I don't.
If he's coming back, I'm going to pick him.
The Phillies, they haven't had him for over 20 games this season, and still first place in the NL East. Just took sole possession after beating the Mets 2-3.
Okay.
Very excited about that.
Don't care.
Okay.
But yeah, Cal Raleigh's a tank.
All right.
I want to see him get to 50 because I don't know what the record is for catchers. Like,
Was it fucking 40?
and he's playing catcher. It's
is
not
it-
like he's like a Salvador Perez thing where Salvador Perez like DH a little bit.
Surely there's somebody in the last 2
48,
decades.
Salvi.
And that was a huge outlier year for him, right?
Let's see. Johnny Bench.
Yeah.
Johnny Bench hitting 45 in 1970 kind of rules.
Like after that, like
Mm-hmm.
Piazza.
Yeah. Oh, Javi Lopez, 43. I remember that one.
Piazza,
Mm-hmm.
Cal Raleigh.
his career, fair or foul, Brandon? And that's a Mitchell Report question.
Probably, and he doesn't get credit for it, probably the most foul of anybody.
Okay.
Just 66 round pick all of a sudden turns into Mickey Mantle behind the dish. Like, come on.
Okay.
Blutman.
Yeah.
This is not one of your classic Is This Funnies. This is, I'm going to press the Blutman button and let him go to talking.
Okay.
Wisconsin sues Miami for tampering with football transfer. The contracts between Wisconsin and their athletes give the school non-exclusive rights to use the players' NIL and promotions, yada, yada, yada. Wisconsin had a football player. Miami allegedly talked to him, said get in the transfer portal and come here. He did. Wisconsin has sued Miami. Thoughts?
Yeah, so Wisconsin's butthurt. They lost the good player and opens the door for everyone that's involved in college football.
Let me stop
to
you
just
there.
sue
Let me
each
stop you
other
there.
now.
Let me stop you there. No. They've changed the rules to allow transfers to be, pretty much free and clear. Just transfer wherever you want. There's NIL. The players get paid. But these teams and schools can't just operate within the new rules. They have to tamper. They have to call and say, hey, man, get in the transfer portal, come here. They have to go above, and they always have to bend and break the rules. Why can't you just recruit guys out of the transfer portal and leave guys on other teams' rosters alone?
Because that's just not how the sport works.
What do you mean it's not how sports work? This thing started
plays by that rule.
This thing started 2 years ago.
Yeah, nobody plays by that rule.
That's what
anymore.
I'm
It's
saying.
A new
So
era. It's a new game.
everybody's
and it's
hand
just
is in the cookie
constant
jar.
breaking of rules.
Everybody's hand is in the cookie jar. At some point, the lid was going to snap shut on somebody's fingers.
So my issue is everybody's hand is in the cookie jar. Wisconsin can't be whining about because they've done the same thing how many times?
How do you know they've done the same thing?
Because everyone's doing it. Like it's not some like crazy secret thing that like only Miami's gonna cover. Everyone's been paying people illegally for years, and Wisconsin just got a wee bit salty and wanted to create some chaos. Like,
but don't you think? And I'm fine. I get it. You're right that everybody's kind of doing everything, but don't you think there has to be somebody to step up and enforce some rules and regulations at some point? It's the Wild West out there. The NCAA is too chicken shit to enforce rules. A school should be able to step up and say, God damn it, he's on our roster, you can't talk to him.
Yeah, they should be able to say that. But when it comes from a place of hypocrisy, like your word kind of just means a whole lot less.
Yeah, but you don't know that Wisconsin's done it.
We're all well aware. You guys have done it too.
I'm not throwing stones at anybody. I'm just saying this.
Sam, you too?
It feels like more of like a measure to start discourse and move it up through people that can actually like
do something.
It's a measure to force regulations.
Enact labor laws, because
Right.
it's like the NCAA will never actually. There needs to be some sort of collective bargaining or some sort of unionization of players in the terms of like being able to negotiate. And you signed this contract, you were committed to doing this, and if you leave, you gotta get bought out. Like, you have agreed to render your services to this university as a football player. Whereas I think the big issue with that is they are only buying the rights to their like name, image, and likeness, which is not technically football services. Like, they only get them like their name.
Blumman, what you say is correct. Wisconsin likely just got their feelings hurt that they had a good player taken from them. But at the end of the day, if we're going to have wide open transfers and money and everything, there do have to be some rules and laws that people actually abide by. If I'm getting ready to play Michigan November 10th, I can't be worried that my starting cornerback is talking to Miami via text message that morning. And that just, it seems to be NCAA. It doesn't take that much common sense to come up with a system where we actually enforce some things.
I completely agree. And speaking of common sense, it's clear tampering anytime a player is entering the portal with a no contact tag. That just means I've been speaking with people,
right?
And that
means I've already done all the contact I need to do.
So, like, what? Darian Mensah leaves Tulane, and he's got like $4 million or whatever waiting from Duke. Bruh, we all know you've been talking to Duke for weeks or months off that merit. Like, you didn't take the time to go see any others. The whole thing is just so annoying now, man. Like, I don't want to complain about or put any effort into it, like attention into it. I just want to watch college football. That's all I want to do.
All right, everybody relax.
But aren't you concerned that the thing you love is being like it's
broken?
It's broken and destroyed. And wouldn't you like to see like at least someone take the pieces and try to glue it back together?
It has to be the SEC and Big Ten, because the NCAA is toothless. They're a useless organization that only exists to take the money of their members for what God knows what reason. It's unsustainable in so many ways. But Blutman is playing right into exactly what everybody else does. He's sitting here and he's saying, "Oh, this, that, and the other. I'd love to have regulations and everything." But the first thing you said was Wisconsin's just butthurt, and that sounded like just a message board fan.
I mean, that's fair, but it's true.
Well, you can't have it both ways, Blutman. They can't just be butthurt and just be sour and also say, but they have a point.
That's how it is till there's change.
Don't you think the lawsuit's a first step in enacting that change?
No.
Okay.
You don't think it helps at all?
No, I think.
And I'm not blaming Miami, by the way. Miami's whether they did it or not, Miami's out here trying to compete with Georgia, Alabama, Clemson, and everybody else. And everybody
Miami didn't do a thing.
Huh?
Miami didn't do a thing.
That's what I'm saying.
What everyone's doing. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just, I miss college football what it was 10 years ago. I'm not afraid to say it.
Yeah.
I love you, Blutman.
Thank you, Connor.
What did that matter? Why did you have to say that at that moment?
I just feel like he's in a down spot right now.
He seems fine.
No,
I mean, he's right. I'm a bit.
He's talking ball with the boys.
Yeah, but I'm a bit.
But the sport that he loves the most is changing for the worse.
I'm on the brink of depression because I could see it falling off a cliff.
Yeah.
I see where it's going. I know it's no good. I know it's all bad.
It also makes more money and gets better TV ratings than it ever has in the history of the game. So
yeah, but what's that do for guys like you and I? That doesn't move the needle for us. I don't care how much
did
money
me pretty
they're
well.
making. It's not like it gets put into making the sport better.
All right.
Bars.
Tomorrow.
You have more business over there?
I don't have any more business.
Yes, you do.
I don't.
Yes, you do.
I have exactly what he gave me. I have a Jägermeister, which was done. I have Sport Clips, which was done. I got to tell you about Shady Rays. Shady Rays is the best. You know that moment, the one when you realize you left your favorite sunglasses at the beach or on the roof of your car or at a gas station 3 states away? Well, we've all been there. But then I found Shady Rays, and it changed the game. These sunglasses are made for real life. Seriously good-looking, polarized, durable, and not stupidly expensive. And here's the wild part. If you lose or break them, even on day one, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair, no guilt trip, just replacements. So now we actually wear our sunglasses without fear. It's a good moment to put them on there, Connor. There you go. On hikes, at concerts, on the boat, wherever, Shady Rays is eyewear that has your back. I would give it a personal endorsement, but I think all the personal endorsement you need is looking you dead in the face right there.
Yeah.
Is that your Penn State colorway right there?
It is, yeah. And this is a perfect set of sunglasses to wear on Lake Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect for all the noon games.
He brought it back on you. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Head to ShadyRays.com. Use code MOSTLYSPORTS for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Head to ShadyRays.com. Use code MOSTLYSPORTS for 35% off polarized sunglasses. And with that, I will tell you adieu. We'll be back tomorrow. No more Titus, but T-Bob should be in that chair from now on. And that's it. Thanks.
That's a Ball's done.
Family, 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 family.